Hello and welcome back to Africa Down Under. I'm Dominic Piper. I'm joined today by David Flanagan, Managing Director of Arrow Minerals. David, thanks for coming in.
Mate, great to be here.
And thanks for being part of Africa Down Under. It's a great story you've got in Arrow Minerals. As the name of your flagship project suggests, Simandou North. You're at the north of this massive Pilbara killer that is the Simandou iron ore system.
Well, firstly, thanks for having me at the conference. It's just been amazing. It's just been such an awesome conference to be a part of. But Simandou North, yes, it's a really important project for us, but Simandou is not a Pilbara killer. Actually, probably the only thing that's really been a stake in the heart of the Pilbara has been the environmental incidents that have happened up there that have slowed everything down, right? But fundamentally, Simandou is great for the Pilbara. It's going to create blending opportunities, right? So let's park that for a minute. But with our Simandou North project, we've gone in this year and we've drilled about 500 holes, and we've announced an exploration target there of hundreds of millions of tonnes, and we think that that will support a viable hematite fines project, and we're in the process of drilling out a resource and doing a scoping study. But we've also picked up an option on the Niagara bauxite project, which also, because of that infrastructure, it has an opportunity being brought online. So we think that there's an exploration target there of 170 to 350 million tonnes. And we're going to drill out a resource there and a scoping study there. And in time, absolutely just take full advantage of that infrastructure for the benefit of Guinea and for Arrow Minerals shareholders.
It's very unusual in a conversation about projects, mining projects in Africa, to be talking about the benefits, the positives of infrastructure. Is usually a lack of infrastructure, an infrastructure gap, particularly when it comes to bulk commodities. Why is it that Guinea has been able to pull off and explain to us exactly what this infrastructure play is?
Yeah, so for those people who don't know, there's the Simandou iron ore system, which is spread across 4 tenements, and hopefully ours. Hopefully we get a bit onto our tenements, but these 4 tenement holders, there's a bunch of different joint venture parties there, including Chinalco, Rio Tinto, Baowu, and Winning. And there's so much iron ore there that it actually underpins a railway line that's 675 kilometres long. Now, there's a couple of absolutely unique things about that rail infrastructure. Firstly, it's almost completed, which is also unusual for things to be arriving generally on time, but it's 675 kilometres long end to end. It's being installed, the bulk of it, say 90% of it, is double track, which means that it has substantial capacity. And it's basically been built with a mandate from everyone to carry multi-user product. So the railway line is going to be managed, and it's going to provide a service to all of the owners of those iron ore deposits on a fee-for-service basis with a take-or-pay obligation. And there's multi-user obligations on the parties for all of the infrastructure. So what that means is that if you're living in Guinea, you don't just need to consider what the future's like with Simandou project being developed. There's an opportunity for multiple projects, multiple developments, and really a substantial benefit for the people who live in all of those communities and for the future of all of Guinea. It's pretty amazing. But where and why and how? Well, if it wasn't for the government for having the vision to impose those obligations on some of those parties, we may well have ended up with a railway line that was built like every other railway line. But we've got massive capacity, which is planned for in excess of what Simandou's requirements are.
Yeah. So what's the challenge and the opportunity for Arrow now? How do you negotiate a path through the opportunities that lie in wait?
Well, exactly. So those things which are the challenges are actually exactly the same things which are the catalysts of value and opportunity. So for example, like initially it's getting into the field, engaging with all of the communities, establishing your environmental baselines, and that's just work. And then going in and getting the holes drilled, and then it's the resources, then it's the subsequent economic assessment, and then it's engaging with the parties on the railway line, whether it's the government, or whether it's the actual proponents who have allocations on the railway line which they may not be able to fill, or whether it's the manager and operator of the railway line to negotiate your access. So, as you know, I've developed a few mines before, and we face challenges all of the time, but we consider those more in the light of, well, that's just a catalyst to value.
So David, what can we look out for in the next 12 months?
It'll be a bit like the last 12 months. There'll be lots of drilling, there'll be lots of news flow, but there'll also be resources. And we'll be talking about the economic value to shareholders and to Guinea in our disclosures. And hopefully we'll also be able to talk about de-risking access to the line, to the port, and then into the market, and be able to start to talk about the timeline to actually mining. And I'm pretty excited about all of that.
It certainly sounds like you are. David, thanks for joining us today. Best of luck for the rest of the conference, and we look forward to catching up again soon to see the progress at Arrow.